What is going on, Governors? Chisgule here, and today we're back for more playoff action for the 1900 time slot, Ark of Osiris League Season 2 playoffs. If you like Rise of Kingdoms videos where we teach you how to get value and smash your enemies, consider subscribing for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. Come one, come all. We're going to have a grand old time. Let me make sure my camera... Oh, it's totally out of focus. Hey, camera. What's going on? What if you autofocus on my face? There we go. Hey! Good to see you, too. Welcome back to the second round of streaming Ark of Osiris League. We've got some good stuff ahead of us and things we can review. First and foremost, what are we about to watch? We're about to watch Live Style take on OUO, the Asuras. Hopefully I have pronounced that correctly. That's Kingdom 1177 versus 1123. I would expect they have roughly the same commander power, except weighted a bit more toward Live Style in this case. Although, honestly, I'm not as familiar with these teams, so we'll see exactly what they're up to and how they play. Hello to everyone in the chat. Holy moly. Kevin, Redleg, Just Liam, Drixon, and many more. Let's do this thing, baby. So there were a bunch of really exciting matchups earlier today as well. If you didn't watch that earlier, check out the video from 1300 UTC. We streamed the matches that were happening then. We tuned in to Hong Kong Legends battling Kingdom Tigers. And we also watched a good bit of BBTH battling against Vietnam Victory, which both were pretty fun matches to watch. Thank you, everybody, for giving us that opportunity to cruise in and get a look at what y'all were doing. Groggy, good to see you. Drixon says, just hit 50 million power. Ask me anything. Nice. So, a couple other matches that were noteworthy. We won our matchup today against C9N, which was really close. It was really close, very well fought. We see here that Punishers P245 won their matchup against Northern Crown. JWM2 beat Deadly Sin's Pride. Misfits Lions Division, that is Kingdom 93's primary team, beat the Royals, who were the Season 1 Ark of Osiris sensation. Newbie 2 fell just barely to Phoenix. What a close matchup. Down 2,000 points. Wow. 4-6 Gang barely eking out a win against the Sons of Destruction. And I think what you're seeing here is a lot of really close matches. Necessary Evil beating Titans of 79. We've got Phoenix Rising conquering Golden Throne. Zero Tolerance falling to Overlord, the Season 1 champions for Ark of Osiris League. And JWM beating NCB, bringing us to this final matchup. Is it worth buying the Lucerne Scroll $5 thing? Well, I've got a video dedicated to that. I generally think so, but check out the video for the details, the full rundown. Also, we got a $10 super chat before we dropped into this video. Sebastian Sim, cheers to you. Thanks for the $10 super chat. Sebs from 1289PX is looking for some betting tips next time. Duly noted. We'll offer some betting tips next time around. Who do you think is going to win this matchup of Live Style versus OUO? I'm still getting very acquainted with both of those teams. We'll see what we think here. I'm eager to see how it plays out. Ulan is saying, I just started playing this game and I picked Japan. Is that a good way to start? Well, check out my video where we talk about the best starting civilizations. I think Japan is a fine choice. How did we win in Ark? We did change our strategy pretty substantially in this round of Ark of Osiris. We changed our strategy pretty significantly, and we will continue to evolve. Once Ark of Osiris League is all done, or certainly our role in it comes to a conclusion, we'll be making a video about the detailed strategy for Ark of Osiris. There is a lot to talk about. Live style for sure, says Just Liam. AMX says DSP is out. Really? Are they out? Let's go look at the schedule. We can see here that it looks like, yeah, JWM2 and Misfits Lions Division will both be advancing. 89PX is very likely to advance. They're very likely to advance. It's possible they might not. I'd have to see exactly how that would work. I'm pretty sure they would. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they advance, because now Newbie is going to battle T46 Gang. So, yeah, they advance either way. Do you think I should spend my 200 days of speed ups for pre-KVK training, or reach for the top, or now or never? So many events. Pre-KVK training is good for the kingdom, although it sounds like you should be focused on probably what's best for your account. If we get a look here, JWM, very likely to advance, and this is the matchup that we're looking at here. Live style versus OUO. Group D. This is a sort of decisive division here. 2-0 and 2-0 for both of those groups. I mean, they're both going to advance. BBTH, very likely to advance, possibly even locked in. Let's see here. Who's playing next? Probably Vietnam. Victory is playing against N3X. Yeah, so BBTH is locked in. What's going on, fam? We're just warming up for this match here. Hong Kong Legends, they are likely locked in at this point. Who's going to battle here? Probably Rising Phoenix and Kingdom Tigers. That's right. So they're going to battle next, and when they do, the winner of that matchup will go to the finals. This one is really curious. Our group is very strange. So if Snow beats C9N and we beat Hoff, then we go to the finals. If Snow loses to C9N and we beat Hoff, that means there will be 3 teams that are 2-1. And I think we would even need to look at the tournament rules to see who advances in the situation in which there is 2 people that are 2-1. Let's see here. Redo policy. Other. Is it in the other? How about competition format? Is it in here? Participants, selection, qualifiers, rest period, playoffs. Okay. 32 alliances who progress to the playoffs. 8 groups, 4 in each, round robin. The top 2 alliances with the most win will advance, but the thing is there'll be 3 tied for the most wins. If multiple alliances with the same group have an equal number of wins, the alliance with the most net points from 3 rounds will move on. Net points is the difference between the winning side and the losing side in a single round. The winner scores net positive and the loser scores net negative. Wow. So if in our matchup, we look at the schedule for next week, if we have a resounding success against Hoff, then we can make it to the next round. If we have how did I say that? If we have a resounding victory over Hoff, that's what I mean. If we have a resounding victory over Hoff, then we can make it to the next round, even if Snow loses. But if Snow wins and we win, then we make it to the next round. It's going to be a heck of a battle. You're not going to want to miss it. Be sure to tune in to next week's Ark of Osiris League games. We're, of course, going to be casting those live. And for those of you that have been here before, you know that before we start casting, we're mellow right now because we're going to turn up the temperature 1,000 degrees. It's going to get real hot in here. We're going to talk real fast for the next hour as soon as this matchup begins. So for now, we're just kind of hanging out drinking tea with my Chisgule Gaming branded mug. And my Chisgule Gaming branded t-shirt, in fact. Link in the description if you want your own Chisgule merchandise. And we do occasionally do giveaways for these sweet goodies. So if you haven't subscribed yet, consider it. This is our pre-game show. We're hanging out. It's good if Guan is max first skill. You know, my Guan's in a pretty good place. Definitely max your first skill. Definitely max your first skill. And let me show you mine. I'm debating using him. In fact, I did use him today. I use him in Canyon, and I ended up using him in League, where like I just sent him at a structure with a second march supporting. We just really needed to. But you max the first skill, and then you take him to 5-1-1-1, and you want all your points to land in these two skills. Of course, my Ark of Osiris match was the exception, where I actually really would have liked the damage to garrisons. So go figure there. Go figure there. That's right, we've got our pre-matchup Q&A as people jump into the stream. And in less than 5 minutes, we're going to go into Berserk caster mode. And we'll be talking nonstop. So now's the time to get in your questions. Lord Xeris, shout out to you. The Ducks are going to take over Kingdom 45. Oh my. Oh my. Need to renew my subscription. Sadly, not till next Friday. Well, appreciate your being a member of the channel for a very long time. Did I say Mr. Pudding? Miss Pudding? Anyways, Chisgule branded breeches and pants for 50% off. You want my pants off? What is happening in the chat right now? What is happening in the chat right now? Phasma, thank you for the positive feedback. Much appreciated. How do I get stronger without using any money? Well, Arnold, you're definitely looking for my free-to-play guides. That's the thing you're looking for. Gathering will certainly help. Get very, very good at gathering resources. It's 9 p.m. in Australia. Holy jeez. Esong hits the wheel in a new kingdom about 90 days in. I think it's between... I want to say 60 to 90 days in is around when that is. All right, here we go. Back to the watch screen. Scroll into the bottom. 3 minutes before we light up on fire, people. At what time is Alexander better than Charles and Scipio both maxed? I think if you max the first two skills on Alex, you're in a pretty good position. Chisgule, big KVK question. Do the pre-KVK events begin at reset? I don't know. But you bet your bottom dollar that we're going to show all of the action as soon as it happens. So if you want to see our pre-VK events and evaluation, consider liking the video to show support and subscribing to the channel for daily Rise of Kingdoms updates. Chisgule, why you work on Constantine and not on Alex or Khan on your restart project? We haven't worked on Constantine yet at all. We are on the Saladin Mighty Governor cycle, so we're not quite there. The thing I like about Constantine is that he's a beast in the open field. He's a beast in the garrison. He's a beast in Canyon. I mean, like, the dude brings a lot of versatility, and for a low spender or free-to-play player, you really need your legendary commanders to be extremely versatile and good in many situations. Should I focus on Attila Takeda or on the new archers? Both are not worked on at all. I would recommend waiting until we see how the new meta unfolds, and then and only then, after the big spenders have gone ham, do you start to make some of your own investments. People saying thank you for our winning arc. Groggy saying, I'm glad I can help you get the Oryx. Hilarious. Do I think Ethel will be changed soon in the metal store? I don't think so. I would really love if we had something else to do with our metals in the expedition store. We're sitting at, 1.6 million right now. So I would love something to do with these. I could do the 100 gem refresh, but I found that it's generally like maybe slightly less value than 100 gems. Yeah, I mean like that. So I can do the 100 gem refresh, but I'm really not getting much out of that. KVK think there's another week of matchmaking. Interesting. I think the matchmaking ends in just like a day. I think our matchmaking I think it ends in like a day. So we'll see. We're in the finding match stage. I think in a, not this reset, but the next one, we'll have all the goodies. But now, my friends, we're entering that time where Chisgule lights up on fire to cast in 13 seconds. 13 seconds. We will get this started. Here we go, fam. Watch light is red, but no watch button available to me. Interesting. We hit 1900. We hit 1900. Looking for the ability to watch the matchup. There we go. We're in the match, baby. Who's stronger, Osman or Sun Tzu? I'd go with Sun Tzu. All right, fam. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome, one and all. Ark of Osiris League playoffs. This is round 2 of the group stage for the playoffs. 32 teams in total, battling in groups of 4 in this matchup. We will be watching live style battling against OUO. Both of these teams could use a win to hang out in this Ark of Osiris League, and this is going to be a heck of a matchup. Up top, we can peep some of these players. In the front, we've got 142 million power, 80 million power, 113 million power. These, my friends, are some pretty high power players in Rise of Kingdoms. And what do you get for having all that power? Man, you get a lot of troops, and you will need those troops as you battle in Ark of Osiris. Even with nearly 1 million cavalry that are T5, we find ourselves burning through those real fast. You need troops on troops, and the other way to do that is with healing speed ups. You can heal your troops. I think that that's extremely expensive for what you're getting out of the deal, but people seem to be really into that. 187 million power, 126 million power, 61 million power. I mean, these are some high power T5. Look at that. 228 million power. Wow. So this is a T5 beater matchup where these folks are going to be going ham. Did we win against C9? And indeed we did. They fought very well. Should I max the talent tree on Sun Tzu? Yes, work on your Sun Tzu. That's the pick. In 35 seconds, this matchup is going to begin. The heat will be on. Folks will be moving into the battlefield. You've heard me say this many times now. Check out my mobility video where we talk about extremely fast-moving cavalry commanders. They're going to be sending T1 cavalry because they move so much faster to claim these obelisks. That T1, they're wearing way less armor, so of course they move faster. Of course they move faster. They got the same horses, less armor on them. Boom, they move really quickly down the field. And they are using mobility commanders to do that quickly. 3, 2, 1... and the match begins. Folks are heading on to the battlefield. Those speedy troops are making their way. Belisarius in front. A Cao Cao over here with a very high number of T1, which I think is pretty interesting. And more T1 troops heading out there. I suppose you could use a Belisarius, but that really doesn't make much sense to me. The reason you wouldn't want to use a Belisarius is because they don't have any inherent march speed. Whereas if you used a Dragon Lancer, who, he's a green commander, everybody's got him, you go 10% faster. So he's got the same talent trees, mostly, but I think you get more speed. I think you get more speed out of the Dragon Lancer. I don't know, I'd have to watch my own video to remember exactly how that unfolds. So they're making their way onto the battlefield and down south. Similar stuff going on, folks moving into the field. What I expect we will see is that large volumes of players will be collecting by not only the outposts, but past those toward the altars. The altars are the big point buildings. I want you to remember this number. 750 is the number of points that you get for capturing this initial structure. It's a lot of points, and you get 150 points for every single minute from there on forward. Chis, I played Ark today with Sun Tzu and Osman. It went very well, but my Pelagius Mina, I think not so well. I don't know. I think Pelagius Mina is a fine choice. You could use buy bars for the AoE. Here we see structures being taken and a little bit of a delay from the folks in red. 4 structures owned by blue, and they got there much faster. Red's still just getting their outpost. And, wow, there we go. They've got one of their obelisks. The other one is lagging behind pretty substantially. Wonder what happened here that this got off to not the fastest start for the folks from OUO. Maybe a little confusion here. Oh, no. Well, maybe this is a part of the reason why. We see they've got a Lancelot. And Lancelot is probably not the commander I would use here. You're missing some of the march speed that you could have gotten by using the Dragon Lancer. And maybe they've got the Dragon Lancer as the secondary. But no matter how you slice it, that is a full, minute behind on the capture of that obelisk. And I am now pretty concerned they are 1 minute and 8 seconds behind. Jeez. That is a long time. As you know, it takes 3 minutes for a structure to capture. At that point, it converts into your favor. You get the first capture points. That only happens once throughout the entirety of the match. But then you're getting points every single minute from there on out. Ankit, thank you for the positive feedback. Much appreciated as we see a rally landing on the live-style obelisk and marches making their way downfield. A whole mess of them making their way downfield to cause trouble. And they're not just stopping at the Shrine of War. It looks like they're going to surge on past it and make their way to the Desert Altar. Now, we would expect to see an equal and opposite number of marches making their way to the Desert Altar, but I don't see that right now. I see just a few stragglers, which means if I were looking at this map from blue, I would make the call to surge forward, and that is exactly what they are doing. Livestyle now moving down the field toward the altar. They're going to put a lot of pressure here, and I am extremely concerned for OUO's ability to hold this altar if they only have 4 marches here, 5 marches. And thankfully for them, they've got a rally full of troops making their way on the way to the opposing side obelisk. I expect that they will have to cancel that rally to deposit those infantry by this structure in order to hang out and defend it because, my friends, they've got incoming not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, we're looking at almost 30 marches heading down toward the Desert Altar with maybe 10 here for the folks in OUO. That rally breaks, and those infantry now making their way toward this structure. They've got 45 seconds to secure the area. If I were in red, I would actually try to posture forward a little bit more to make it so that these guys can't have a free walk all the way over to the altar, and hopefully that is what they'll do because boy, oh boy, this is going to heat up real fast in that part of the battlefield. They've got folks in the center posturing by the Temple of Osiris, and few folks by the Shrine of War with another rally on its way over. Infantry at the helm for that rally, very likely to break to protect the structure, and a measly 2 marches by the Sky Altar. Free Sky Altar. Anybody want a Sky Altar? Do you want a Sky Altar? There's a Sky Altar for free, 100% free, hanging out off to the side. Amazingly, nobody contesting this altar. Free altar. Woo! There's more marches from blue by the Shrine of Life, and they are going to start capping those structures now as we see more folks positioning by the Desert Altar. I'm not sure why Livestyle waited to push the assault, but they did, and that gave Red an abundance of time to say, whoa, 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 we actually want this thing. Let us take this a little more seriously as those marches do arrive to defend the Desert Altar. We see an even split of the structures, and now the rally game begins as we see War Titan rally with Richard I. The giveaway that this is not a real rally is that nobody leads a rally in Ark of Osiris with Richard I. So I'm pretty sure this is going to break and the combat will be real. We're about to see first blood by the Desert Altar, unless they're feeling so bold as to literally march their infantry all the way down to the opposing side obelisk to try to take it. And gosh darn it, they just might be doing that. They just might be doing that as they wave bye-bye to the Desert Altar and continue on their merry way. The folks in Livestyle positioning even farther forward, but not even attacking. A lot of taunting going on as even more OUO players collect to defend. Not sure what the wait was. Hope it was worth it, as now March is going backward and forward, or maybe just sort of standing there looking at each other. Are they going to send forward their strongest champion and then one of them wins and the winner of that fight determines the winner of the matchup? That'd be sort of civil and very exceptional, but I don't think that's how this is going to go. Instead, they are literally literally getting so close that they're not even following virus protocol. They are certainly within 6 feet of each other as they, I don't even know. Are they friends? Do they know each other? They're like BFFs? Flacco now saying, I'm going to march right up to your altar. Stop me. I'm not sure. Is this match rigged? What is happening here? What in the world is going on? First hit now striking with archers, and for whatever they were waiting for, I honestly could not tell you. It certainly was entertaining and confusing, but now combat's starting to break out. Bunch of folks from blue concentrated down south, and we do see that this rally is on its way. They have an Edward at the helm. Interesting choice. We'll see who's on defense as this combat breaks open. First blood in the live style OUO matchup. Here we go as the rally connects to the structure, and in the structure they've got a Guan on the defense with counter rally, Attila Takeda. Messy open field combat here. Who's going to be the secondary to this Guan? Let's see if we can peep it. We see, wait a minute, is it new captain Richard I now captaining the structure, and Charles Martel as the secondary? Oh boy, it's a throwback. It's a throwback to Season 1 of KVK. We've got a throwback set of commanders, and that altar is taking some fierce pressure as now the folks in blue start to swarm the structure, and the rally taking huge pressure because we all knew that that Edward rally can't handle a swarm like an Attila Takeda. And so rally is broken, and counter rally now breaks apart to help defend the structure, but there are so many blue marches here that I feel that if they swarm this structure now, there's almost no way that it can be defended successfully with those old meta commanders, but they are hanging on for dear life as we see, look at that, Ramses on the part of Michelle, likely to be expertise applying 100% healing debuff to that structure. Totally savage debuff as more blue marches start to pile around and swarm. We see a bunch of structures lighting up on the map, but I don't want to look anywhere other than here. Let's go do it. Let's look. Here we see at the Shrine of War, huge scrum going on as the Lifestyle Rally is defeated with none other than Charles Martel at the helm of that defense. However, that structure's not out of the woods yet. A lot of marches there and a lot of marches here. Wow, if I were to summarize what I've seen so far on the map, it's that blue is swarming the offense here, and they are about to take that altar. Getting a look to see, is red reciprocating the offensive pressure? They do have pressure on the Shrine of Life, however, I think blue is going to hold it. And cruising over to the Shrine of War, now marches arriving from red, but in my opinion, not likely to be enough if this altar is, or this shrine rather, is fully staffed. That said, more marches arriving here, and 2 marches, notably, that do a serious healing debuff. Saladin is going to debuff that structure by 40% healing, and 30% healing debuff from Alexander the Great. To my knowledge, those buffs don't stack, so it's going to be one or the other. Both are exceptional. Either one will be fine, and Sky Altar has a lone rally from OUO, keeping the folks in blue somewhat honest from leaving that structure entirely, as blue takes the Shrine of Life and also the far side altar and continues to apply oppressive pressure to the desert altar. In my opinion, it looks like this will flip in their favor, and we do see a Ramses on the part of OUO hanging out in the open field as well. What we don't see on the battlefield is a Hannibal Barca, which chat is asking about Hannibal Barca. The thing about Barca, why did I use Hannibal Barca at the beginning of the arc? Now that's a great question. You see, Hannibal Barca lets you bring more troops to the battlefield. Elevated troop capacity. And with that elevated troop capacity, you can drop them into a structure and then forget about them. Does equipment work in Ark? Yes, it does. Sunset Canyon? Yes, it does. Lost Canyon? Yes, it does. As the structure flips blue, red is losing nearly every structure on the map. And with 1 minute and 14 seconds until the Ark spawns, I was going to say, this would have to be the reality for this to be a worthwhile activity. With that said, they're all making a nice little circle around this Temple of Osiris, but if I were in their shoes, I would blast these guys out of the water and overrun them while they have that opportunity. That opportunity is going to dwindle as now the folks in blue come around from behind. These folks are going to get pressured from both sides. Ooh boy, this is about to get really spicy as blue circles around live style to sauce these guys from both ends. Yikes, this is about to be problematic as Divine Aid being cast remarkably late to offer 3 teleports, or rather 5 teleports, to get closer up to the action on the battlefield that was used by the folks in blue who now have 5 out of 20 teleports available. Here we see that now red is about to get outnumbered. They let themselves be surrounded, and those marches that were just chilling for free to kill, now we're going to do some serious work into the center as war drums are cast for the folks in red. Whew, this is going to get spicy as the center is eaten up, consumed by blue as war drums now cast for the folks in blue. And bogged down to slow people down. I'm not sure how much slowing them down is going to matter here. Mystical formation, there's one thing that we care about, and it is the center of the map. Hard to tell who has cast what on who, but remarkably, in all of that, someone from red has managed to grab the Ark and is moving it toward their side of the battlefield. Very, very, very solid grab from OUO, as now the carrier is taken down. Blue looking like they're getting control of this part of the map as red recaptures their Shrine of Life, and also making offensive plays onto the Desert Altar. That offense looking really spicy, possibly going to be successful. And it does look like blue has grabbed the Ark, making our way back over. They're going to start to bring that Ark back toward their end of the battlefield. And as soon as that has happened, we're going to see a wall of blue marches between red and the carrier. And at that point, it's GG. At that point, it's GG because if you want to chase down the carrier, you're going to have to get completely wrecked by all the blue marches that are going to have free hits on you as you walk past them. However, smart play by red taking down the carrier as this scrum starts to look a little less decisive than it did before. Total mix-up here, bunch of red, bunch of blue. Hard to say who's going to come out victorious in the center of the map. However, we do know that if red doesn't get this Ark, they are looking like they are in a really, 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 really tough position in this matchup. If you can't win the structure game, you had better win the Ark game. That is certainly what we expect to play out as blue grabs the Ark yet again, and I don't think it's moving. I don't know if they realize that they've grabbed it. Do they realize that they have the Ark? I am not so sure. Aha, the Ark carrier says, wait a minute, I've got the Ark. And they're moving now down the field. Could have been lag, could have been a disconnect. Goodness knows I got disconnected once or twice during my matchup today. And there we see the Ark is down yet again. As the battle wages on in the center of the field, more folks from OUO arriving because they realize, hey, wait a minute, if we can't get this and we can't get the altars, we've got a really big problem. On the topic of altars, we see a rally in with some swarm support. Remarkable amount of infantry in that swarm support as running charge being cast here in the center of the matchup. Folks are looking for that march speed as the Ark has made its way even further toward the folks in blue. However, I feel like red is starting to mount a comeback in the center of the map. If they do that, they can keep themselves in this matchup and we'll still have a close match. But yet again, blue on the grab. They're now starting to get more folks to the middle, realizing themselves that if they don't get more pressure here, this is going to become problematic. And if they can take this, it's going to be a pretty solid banging in of the first nail to that coffin, because they are holding all 4 altars right now, pulling down 890, a savage 890 points per minute to this 270 points per minute for the folks in red. And even those structures we can see on the map by where it is blinking, all of the pressure right now, literally all of the pressure is on the red side of the map. None of the blue side structures are under contention at all. Here we see the Ark falling yet again as a new carrier, Stormblast, picks up the Ark. Whew. Okay. Looks like the carrier is on the move and yet again knocked down. The Storm Blessed has fallen as we see more red marches making their way to the center, more blue marches making their way to the center. This is going to be one of those Ark of Osiris battles where things run for a long time here. And the thing is, the longer that blue can keep this Ark in the center, not captured, the better off they are. Because red has to capture this thing to even get themselves back in the game. So blue doesn't even need to cap. They just need to hold it. But good news for blue, they are on the move with an Attila primary. Of all commanders, an Attila primary marching their way back. And we do see a nearly beat down Constantine trying to do something to this Attila, but they just don't have enough punch to work their way through the T5 cavalry as supporting marches arrive, and the whole scrum starts to shift backwards around the new movement of this arc. It looks like the left side obelisk has fallen. Literally every structure on the left side of the map has been taken. OUO in some serious trouble here as Julius Caesar defends the obelisk against a swarm of archers. Oh boy. GG, they lost obelisk, says the chat. Yikes. OUO in a serious spot of trouble as the Ark continues to move downfield. They are now hitting escape velocity in terms of the capture of this Ark, and honestly, it looks like they might be hitting escape velocity in terms of the tone and speed of this matchup. This is not looking good for OUO. Chisgule, I have Sun Tzu and Pelagius and Joan expertise. Who should I work on next? Boudica is the pick, and if you haven't checked my beginner playlist, you're going to want to go get a look at that where we talk about the order in which you should start with commanders in Rise of Kingdoms. The thumbnail says, start here. We see now the Ark continuing to make its way down the battlefield inch by inch and minute by minute, and speaking of minutes, we're looking at a cool 740 points per minute for the folks in blue, and pretty tough 190 points per minute for the folks in red. Oh boy. Redline, good to see you. Chat, good to hang out. Folks are saying this is laggy. Looks good on my end. Looks totally good on my end. We'll clear up a couple things that I'm running just to make sure we're clean and clear. But we're looking pretty good here as the Ark is captured. The Ark is captured. We've got 8 minutes until it spawns again. And red struggling to get their own structures back here on the bottom side of the map as we see a Guan Yu rally on its way over to the Shrine of War. Edward and Tommy. Edward and Tommy is a really solid pair, y'all. Edward and Tommy is a really solid pair as Lifestyles Rally now connects with the structure. Here we go. Here we go. Rally is hitting and getting swarmed. Now, I will say, it looks like we've got an Alexander the Great secondary. This is a perfect rally to swarm down. And we do see here a Hannibal Barca doing some work. We do see a Hannibal Barca doing some work. That defense is going to work. But this offense also is going to work. OUO getting their mojo back here. Taking not one structure, but two. Bada boom. And we see Desert Altar. Looks like this will be under contention now from a rally. The folks in red are starting to gain traction again. And that is one of the things that I love about this game, is that it is such a complex game mode. Here we see Valiant Stand being cast. They really want to hold on to this Sky Altar. And quite frankly, they need to. They are down 10,000 points, and no amount of provisioning is going to catch them up from that. Is Sun Tzu better for defense or Edward? I would say Sun Tzu. Edward is not a defensive captain. Right-hand side of the map looking really good for OUO. However, the Sky Altar under some serious trouble here. There are a lot of marches in red nearby and more on their way. Hopefully this will be enough to protect the Sky Altar, although I'm not necessarily convinced. The rally starting to get beaten down and the swarming worn down. Yes, in fact, this defense looks like it's working as we see a very curious combo. Saladin primary with Ethelfled secondary applying debuffs. That's an interesting way to hide the Ethelfled. And Redline, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. Much appreciated. When you become a member of the channel, your name shows up in green. It's a lot easier to see your chats, and you get a badge showing how long you've been a member, in addition to getting the sweet new emojis. Let's get some hype emojis in the chat welcoming Redline to the channel. Here we see the Sky Altar getting pressured still very heavily in the red. Teardown being cast. Let's go to where that teardown is happening. Boom. They mean business with the Desert Altar. Valiant Stand being cast, increasing the defense of a structure. This looks like it's going to get really interesting as we see perhaps a rally arriving. What's going on here? Where's the rally? Why does this just look like swarming at the Desert Altar? It doesn't make much sense to me, but Blue is happy to hold that advantage while they fight in the open field and no meaningful pressure makes its way over to this Desert Altar. Someone is saying they are seeing a Guan Caesar combo. Guan Caesar is definitely an interesting combo. Here we see more marches crawling their way in. I'm just wondering where the rallies are, as if you can believe it, obelisk capture, right-hand side of the map by OUO. Live Style saying, excuse me, and swarming that down with a solid 7 marches, feeding on what remains into the obelisk. Boom. For those just joining us, we're watching the Ark of Osiris battle of Live Style battling against OUO. We are in the second round of the playoffs. This is a round-robin stage. Best 2 out of 4 in each group will advance. Here we see the Desert Altar still under pressure. The rally now finally arriving. The timing of all these things seems really strange to me, though. Rally's starting to arrive. Gonna do some work on this structure. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hulk, what's going on? Good to see you in the chat. Never a dull moment in Rise of Kingdoms. Never a dull moment in Rise of Kingdoms. Hugs from Brazil. Cheers to you in Brazil. We see here this Desert Altar is in some trouble, and it should be. This structure is closer to the folks in red, so I would anticipate that the pressure they can apply is so great that they're just not going to be able to hold here. You know, it's funny, folks pointing out the Egyptian mythology here. Kind of interesting that Ramses is so good to counter the garrison commanders that are commonly used in this particular game mode. And we do see this Attila Takeda rally doing some serious work along with some swarming. Live Style in some trouble at this Desert Altar. The thing is, this wasn't their Desert Altar to begin with. So every minute that they're holding this is all upside from their perspective. All right. This structure in some pretty serious trouble. Not sure how much longer it's going to survive. If you're enjoying this live stream, please do drop a like on the video. It supports the channel. It's 100% free and has no obligation to you long term. And if you were interested in something a little bit more permanent, a little more long term, then consider subscribing to the channel for daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. We do not have a bet on this matchup. Chat kind of wondering where our Oryx went this week. Spoiler alert, we were so distracted with our own Ark of Osiris planning that we like to bet in like the last couple hours and we forgot to. Mistakes were made, but this week we set an alarm. Speaking of mistakes being made, don't forget to buy out your VIP shop. If those are things that you buy there, this is the time right before reset. That is going to reset at the end. Chis M, one word of support for Gecko. You want me to offer a word of support for Gecko? Check out his channel. It's a pretty sweet channel, a lot of war coverage. Consider subscribing. Hit the like, guys, says Hulk as he flexes. All right. And you know, by the way, when Hulk flexes, it means business. Red has taken the Desert Altar. The folks in blue, surprisingly, do have the field presence, though. So they may just try to swarm this back as we see yet another obelisk in the hands of red. What is going on here? Why are they taking obelisks? It seems like, given they're down 10,000 points, there might be something more important to go take. For instance, if I were looking for something more important, how about the Temple of Osiris? What's going on here? Folks in blue battling here and red. Big open field brawl. As a free-to-play, do I recommend Saladin or Constantine? They're both amazing. I'd lean you toward the Constantine, but they're both really quite amazing. All right, battle happening in the open field. As the battle was so exciting, the game crashed. No worries, we will jump right back in to the matchup. T1F says, I've been watching your clips for a while now. One of the people who got me to love the game. Thanks for all the awesome videos. Thank you very much for the positive feedback. I do seriously appreciate it. And thank you for your support. All right, let's make our way back into the matchup and see what is cooking over here. We've got Ark League. Of course, I scrolled to the bottom and it was right on top. We've got a 10,000 point differential here. In the center of the map, the battle is raging, and blue has got the Ark. Yet again, they are on their way places. Question from the chat. Do the items of the secondary commander apply? No, they do not. Only the equipment of the primary commander will apply in any game mode. Only the equipment of the primary commander. It's why I generally like to focus on having a small number of very, very good sets so that I can always put a very top tier set onto a rally leader or defense captain. Did the spring event envelopes mess up for everyone or just me? Yeah, they're pretty, I don't know. They work sort of. We see here red has grabbed the Ark, and they are on the move, and this is very good for them. They need to score this Ark and the next one just to get themselves back into the game. It's Beezy, good to see you. No worries that you missed the earlier stream. 3 a.m. your time, that is ridiculous. A little bit early in the morning as red's starting to make it away with this Ark, and boom, blue has taken down that carrier. More folks coming to the center of the battlefield as we see just tons of structures trading hands, primarily in the favor of blue. Red has crawled their way back up to 390 points per minute and grabs the Ark yet again. You know, red is doing the things that they need to do to get themselves back into the game. I just don't know if they're going to do all of those things with enough proficiency that they can turn it around, because that is the thing that they need to do at this point. They need to capture this Ark. They need to capture the next Ark. And we've got only 25 minutes. So this is going to take them 5 minutes to capture at best. Then it's going to be an 8-minute timer for the next Ark to spawn. That is going to leave them less than 50 minutes to get the next Ark, or rather 15 minutes. That's going to be pretty tough. Yen says, did Smash Squad win? Yes, we did. Win our matchup. Yes, we did. Do you think that a free-to-play can make it to T5 in a year? Yes, I do think so. Free-to-play can make it to T5 in a year, but not just any free-play. You got to be seriously hunting for value as a free-to-play, and you got to be in a top-tier alliance if you really want to do that, so that you get all the free gold chests, baby. You're living on those gold chests. That's the dream. That is the dream as the Ark of Osiris is captured, and the battling continues. You know, it says captured on the screen, but they just mean picked up. The Ark of Osiris is picked up. It's on the move. I was wondering. It's on the move, but red is really getting their stuff together on this part of the battlefield. Unfortunately, they 0 of the altars, which is just going to be a huge problem for them from a point standpoint. They are in some serious trouble if they can't cap some of these altars back, and I mean immediately. What is the best garrison if you need to deal with huge damage to a rally and not deal huge damage to yourself? An interesting question. If you're asking for like a tanky march and you want to do a lot of damage, you want both tankiness and damage. Man, I don't know what the answer would be for that. Maybe a Charles Martel. Maybe like a Charles Martel and like a Constantine. But if you wanted lots of damage, I don't know who I would pick as a secondary. I don't know who I would pick as a secondary. SRX, Mighty Family, will be going live in 30 minutes. Cool. You have your arc in 30 minutes? That's exciting. Are you seeing effective skill use make much of a difference? James, I think so. I think that using skills effectively makes a pretty big difference. I do think that at this tier, most teams are using their alliance skills very, very effectively. And on the topic of effectiveness, blue is just continuing to stall the center, and that's all they have to do. They're winning the points per minute game very, very heavily, and this arc is really not going anywhere. This is the second arc. They really need to capture this if they are going to keep themselves in this game, as all 4 of the altars belong to live style. Yikes. What should I focus on more? Economic or military? I mean, it depends on if you're in a time of war. I think that economic is generally very, very good in order to, for the rest of the time that you play the game, improve your ability to get resources. But, you know, I see the virtues of doing the military tech as well. There are certain times where you really want to do the military tech because, as an example, when you hit a certain level, I think it's City Hall 24 or 23, you unlock what I call tier 4.5, which really just means there's a bunch of new alliance technology that's opened up, or not alliance technology, individual research that's opened up that adds a lot of stats for combat, and it just gives you a huge boost in combat effectiveness. We see the Ark moving its way down the field. I don't know how far it's going to get, though. I don't know how far it's going to get. What I do know is that it looks like they're going to get to where they're going eventually. I just don't know that it's fast enough. I mean, this might be a 1 arc game, which would be pretty nuts. Chis, is there really a 19-day countdown after finding your KVK squad? I don't know. Paco bet everything on OUO. Sorry, dude. That's tough. Nathan says that they're tier 4.5. Redline is saying that he misses Bujan, Hulk, and Punisher. Yeah, where the heck are you, man? We got a pretty sweet kingdom here. Migration's open, just saying. Probably not for long, though. We'll probably flip Imperium again. Kingdom 75, we've been flipping in and out of Imperium for a while. And look at this breakout march. The problem with breaking out, oh gosh, is that now they are just getting targeted down because they're so easy to identify. I really don't understand that pathing that they just tried to take. It did not make much sense, and they got pretty punished for it. As now they're even just turning to fight, which makes even less sense to me. I'm pretty confused as to what this Ark carrier is doing, as they change their mind yet again and go up in this direction. All right, very good. Red getting more of their structures, crawling their way back into the structure game. And I use the word crawling because it is happening really slowly. With only 20 minutes remaining, it may not matter all that much that they've crawled their way back into a structure game because they are sitting a cool 13,000 points behind. They are at half the score, less in fact, than Livestyle. Eggs and Bacon says blue needs to take the outpost. What I will say is kind of remarkable is that blue is starting to get control over this part of the field. I am not sure what's going to happen if blue actually does get control of it. Sun Tzu or Kusunoki? Sun Tzu is the better pick. war drums being cast in this part of the battlefield for the folks in red. Definitely needed to sort of clear the field here and make that fight happen. Red has picked up the Ark again, and they are on the move. They are going to the Shrine of War. I am a little concerned for the Shrine of War. I am a little concerned as to whether or not they can actually hold and keep it. After you match up, you need to do pre-KVK events, and it's 3 stages, 3 days each. Chis, did you place a bet on Snow? No, we forgot to bet this week. We forgot to freaking bet this week because we were so focused on coming up with our Ark plan, and we like to wait till the last minute for the best odds. Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made, but I am a human. Or am I a human? It is my head on Alexander the Great's body, right? That's what's going on over here. Chisgule the Great. Yo, Chisgule, I gotta go to sleep. Good luck, Eye of Husky. I bet on Snow. They are for real. Yeah, they are for real. Snow was really our first Ark of Osiris loss, actually. Snow was our first real Ark of Osiris loss. We did lose one other matchup when my baby was being born, and we had only half the team migrated into the kingdom. But I don't know that we would really count that as a loss. I certainly don't. No, we've only had one loss where we formed up as a team, and that was to Snow. Here we see the fighting going on for this Ark. It just feels like too little, too late as the Ark crawls its way to the Shrine of War. There's going to be an 8-minute respawn timer on the Ark. That means they'll have 10 minutes to cap it one more time, and that is not enough points to make up the deficit of points that we see at this matchup in this moment in time. I have 115 Sculptures of Khan unlocks in and Khan unlocks in 46 days. Should I continue to save? Yeah, I think it's reasonable to save. Should I max my Esong 5535? Absolutely. You're so close. Finish off your Esong. Absolutely. If you can believe it, the folks in blue have actually snagged the Ark and are bringing it back toward their cities now. That's amazing. Ark carrier down. But this brawl is still happening. It is still happening. Nat says they want to up their Saladin. Saladin's a really good pick. We're pushing almost 1,000 legendary commander sculptures right now. I'm not exactly sure who I want to expertise or what I want to do next. It is very tempting to go expertise a commander, though. It is very commanding. And Psycho dropping a reminder into the chat for folks to drop a like onto the video. We've got a whole bunch of folks watching, and if each of you were to drop a like onto the video, that would literally triple the number of likes that we've got on the video right now. And consider subscribing for daily Rise of Kingdoms content. This has been a heck of a day for Ark of Osiris. I'm really eager for how it will all play out next week. And by the way, in a little bit over 24 hours from now, we're going to have our KVK pairing, presumably. You're definitely going to want to stick around to see how that all unfolds. So consider subscribing for those daily Rise of Kingdoms videos. Here we see the rally hitting and actually doing some pretty serious work. I mean, Red has the Ark, but they still haven't capped it. I know that they've got 16 minutes to pull that off, but man, I don't know. I feel like this matchup with 4 altars still in the hands of Livestyle, this match is very much in their hands. I feel like in order for the folks in red to win this matchup from this position, they would have to take literally every single structure on the map, and they still would have to run some arcs. I mean, yeah, it was looking pretty unlikely for OUO at this moment. Folks are feeling ready for KVK. I'm feeling pretty ready, although I'm still retraining my T5 cavalry, y'all. We're still retraining T5 cavalry. We do see this Livestyle rally is doing some pretty good work here on the shrine. It is doing some pretty good work. The folks are saying that live style was formerly 1 NB8. Good to know. Good to know. As the battle continues here, blue pretty firmly has control. However, the Ark has finally been captured. There is going to be 7 minutes remaining. That's right, 7 minutes remaining in order to actually go and catch an Ark here. So in order to get the extra points from an Ark, in 7 minutes when this spawns, there'll be 7 minutes remaining. They got to get that Ark and cap it and start winning the structure game. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. Am I back to 1,000,000 T5 cavalry yet? I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I think I'm up to like maybe 900,000 T5 cavalry. We're definitely going to push a little bit of power. Like we'll train up another probably 100,000 or so. Yeah, probably a little under 100,000 for the spring events that are going on right now. I don't think that we're going to go for the archer skin. I don't think we're going to do that. We already have a 5% skill damage skin, Saints Halo. So I think I'm just going to stick with that one. Don't call them lifestyle. I got to call them lifestyle, yo. I can't live that life. Maybe y'all can drop those words into chat, but we are a sponsored creator with Rise of Kingdoms. So there's only so many things we can say out loud. We could say 1008, but we know what that actually is. This battle is just ridiculous. Blue is going to totally take this structure. And in 6 minutes and 30 seconds, we will see the Ark spawn back into the center. Wow. What sorts of things do you want to see in Ark of Osiris League, and which teams do you think might win it all? Drop that in the chat. I'm pretty eager to hear what your thoughts would be. Anyone here expertising Ramses? I know we certainly will, but not right away. If we expertise Ramses, it's going to be after we max out all the wheels. That'll be the time. Chisgule, is Esong a good primary on the wall? Yeah, Esong's great. Esong is great. Sun Tzu's also good. It depends in part on who your secondary is, though. Will you stream for a while after Ark of Osiris? I'm not sure yet what we will do. To be determined. To be determined. Chis, I spent around 28,000 gems on Esong's wheel and only got his active skill to 2. Is that worth it at all? I'm a free-to-play player, and that hurt a lot to spend, lol. So, you definitely want to max the first skill before you proceed. Esong is a phenomenal commander. I would recommend that you invest heavily in them if they are a commander you intend to expertise. And given that you're a free-to-play player, I do think it's sort of advisable to go all in on a couple commanders rather than to try to have 5 marches in the field at a time. I use Sun Tzu and Esong on the wall because of area attack. That's a great combo, 666. That's a great combo. I can't believe that OUO is holding on to this structure with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left still until the Ark spawns in. They have been real troopers with this thing as more swarming is taking place. Do you think the KVK commander list being based on the oldest kingdom is fair? 300 kingdoms don't have Attila Takeda yet? I am really surprised that it's not based on the youngest kingdom. But what I think they want to do is prevent a world in which people get a commander like Ramses and then migrate to a kingdom that's about to do season 1 of KVK. That's what I think they're trying to avoid. So I think it would be better if kingdoms kind of had equal access to commanders, but at least they've stopped the situation where like someone could have Wu Zetian and teleport back to a kingdom that's in KVK season 1, right? Like, it seems good that they are preventing stuff like that. There's no war where such economics is so better that I can farm and upgrade, but since I'm pushing for City Hall 25. May as well get T5. It does help with events. Still hoping that I can get ranking rewards. All right. Someone bet 1,200 Oryx on Lifestyle. I almost said the opposite part of their name. I still can't believe OUO is holding this. Look, there's even a rally that's arrived now. I'm watching this sort of mesmerized. It's the first week on my kingdom, and we still have the event Who Will Dominate. I need 200,000 power to get 1.5 million. I'm totally free to play, and my City Hall is going to 18. Wow, very nicely done. Very nicely done. On the wall, is Sun Tzu and Martell a good combo? Yes, it is. It's a great combo. That is a great combo. I still can't believe we're fighting over this Shrine of War. How is this a thing? How? There's the rally getting defeated. Oh my god. I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. What is happening here? The marches are leaving. The marches are leaving to go to the center. Because the center, I'm really surprised, is basically empty. There's like nobody here. There's nobody here for the last arc. I guess it kind of doesn't matter at this point. With 10 minutes remaining and 710 points per minute in the favor of blue, I do not see a turnaround coming here. Do ruins help an arc? To my knowledge, holy sites do not matter. Holy sites do not matter. A new map in Ark of Osiris would be great. Maybe a mode without an arc, but with something different. Yeah, it'd be cool if there was another Alliance battleground. To me, that seems like a likely thing in the not too distant future. I bet 4,000 coins on Snow, and it won, wow, 12,500. Congratulations, Shanks O'Shanks. I have 4 hours to get 200,000 power, and there's no speed ups left. Bummer. Can you explain what happened in the last 5 minutes of your Arc matchup? My game froze and I missed it. In the last 5 minutes of our Arc matchup, there was intense battling for the Ark of Osiris. We stalled C9N from actually bringing it back to capture it. And we turned in a boatload of provisions that bumped us up over the top of their score. Eating chips, no school. Chisgule is streaming. Amateurs, it's a grand old time to be alive in some ways. What times we live in. I use an iPad Pro for Rise of Kingdoms. I'm definitely going to be buying the new iPad Pro. I don't know why I'm dilly-dallying. I should just do that already. In the last event, arms training with T4, it's impossible to reach level 6 or more. Yeah, that sounds right. I think you can get further maybe, but you have to have basically like nearly T5 technology to pull that off. All right. Cruising around the map, making our way to the center. This matchup is looking like it is pretty solidly in the favor. Of Lifestyle, even though OUO is now picking up the arc. Yeah, that's not going anywhere. Logan, what's going on? Good to see ya. Good to see ya. Quick question. Ruins do not help an arc. No, they do not. Would I make a comment on canyon pairs? Oh my goodness. That's a good question for Discord. Check out my Discord. Put it into one of the public channels and folks can answer your question there. Link is in the description for our Discord. You should totally join up and check that out. Chisgule, if you go infantry mainly, do you need to unlock Saladin at all? I like to unlock commanders just so I have access to them, but I don't know if Saladin shows up in Card King. If Saladin shows up in Card King, then I wouldn't worry about it. Hulk says, I have an iPad Pro 2018, and I think no need to buy a new Pro. Some people say the Pro 2018 is better than the Pro 2020. How can that be? How can that be that the 18 will be better than the 2020? Who's best to counter Richard? Commanders like Alexander the Great, Saladin that reduce healing, and an Expertise Ramses will be really sick. Expertise Ramses is going to be the jam. Hey, Chisgule, I'm free to play. Thinking of what commanders to invest in. I'm one wheel commander, one mighty governor. I don't quite understand that question. Ken is already in my Discord. Excellent. Eggs and Bacon says, I watched your game. Dude, you certainly took the lessons from last match to heart. Yeah, I mean, we totally reworked our plan. We completely reworked our plan. And it's tricky because, like, we had more than a sixth of the team, I think, migrate into the kingdom. So, like, our team has constantly been in flux as we sort of build our kingdom. And, I mean, you know, all in all, it's been really great. I'm, like, very happy with the people who've migrated to the kingdom. The kingdom's looking like it's in a really good place. Holy moly. Big brawl in the center. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. How do I earn more individual points in Ark? You got to join rallies. You got to join defenses. You got to battle in the field. All those things. I'm scared of KVKs. When I saw your video of the $200,000 player getting zeroed, it just hit me. Yeah, KVK is a dangerous place. Kingdom versus Kingdom is a dangerous place, but if you pay attention basically at all, like, it's very easy to keep yourself safe. It is very, very easy to keep yourself safe, so I wouldn't worry about that too much, quite frankly. I'm using Sun Tzu and Ethelfled, Olgi and Joan as pairings. Is it good? Yeah, those are good pairings. I would make the Ethelfled a primary, though. I'd make the Ethelfled Joan a pair, and probably the Sun Tzu Olgi a pair. That's the way I would do that. All right. This arc is kind of gummed up in the middle. It's exactly what I said would be an issue. And 800 points per minute for blue and 210 points per minute for red. Yikes. Yikes. Kind of off topic here, Chisgule, but any new tips on jumpers? Not at this moment. You make the best rock content on YouTube. Thank you very much, Benjamin. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Best rune to gather before Ark. Runes do not matter in Ark of Osiris. As Amateurs reminds everybody to smash the like button on the video, if you don't mind, to give us a little bit of a boost, and consider subscribing for daily Rise of Kingdoms content and guides that arrive literally moments after the new events go live. I don't know why I'm rhyming. I don't plan to continue. Should I migrate with my alliance? It depends on what you think of the new kingdom and what will be left of the kingdom if you stay. Just finished KVK Season 1. Richard is 5-4, 5-3. Esong is 5-1. Would you use universals to expertise Richard, put them on to Esong, or save them? Both of them are very fine commanders to expertise. I personally, if you're going to go for an expertise, prefer Esong for the circle AoE, which is really amazing. That arc is totally gummed up. It's not going anywhere. 2 minutes remaining. It's in the hands of red, but it's stuck, my friends. It is totally stuck. Who's the best PvP commander in Rise of Kingdoms? I have a feeling it might be about to be Ramses, but it might currently be Alexander the Great. I would say it's probably currently Alexander the Great. Any news on Solimar? I've got no news on Solimar. The dude got zeroed. He did train back up to almost as much power as I have right now, which is kind of nuts. And I don't know if he's still playing. I do not know. Ryu, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well. Who should invest in Ramses? Ooh. So anyone who can actually take Ramses to an expertise skill. The thing about Ramses is that he is going to make Richard's healing just get completely wrecked. He stops 100% of the healing, which is insane. That's the most powerful debuff I think we've seen in the entire game. And that debuff doesn't matter if you have T5, right? You could have T4, you could have T3, and that debuff would still apply just the same. Yeah, I think Ramses might be on the verge of being one of the most powerful commanders in Rise of Kingdoms. How's the baby? The baby is doing great. She's the sweetest thing. I can't even handle it. Anyone still use CPO? Man, that's the question of the hour. I know I don't use CPO, although he does have a role in the early game as a canyon pairing. Check out my video where I talk about whether or not CPO is good in 2020. I do a CPO 2020 commander guide. He needs rage gen. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Shouldn't there be a thing where you pay 100 gems for something or just add for your alliance? Not sure I understand that comment. Am I still playing Shop Titans? Not at the moment. As the battle concludes, this will go to Live's tile. However, the MVP to OUO, 137,000 points for the MVP. And it looks like the kills were about even. The Sev wounds, about even. The units healed, about even. Just really, really solid play from Live Style being in the right places at the right times. Provision score actually higher for OUO. Very interesting. The occupation score literally through the ceiling for Live Style. My friends, I hope you've enjoyed hanging out for the tail end of our Ark of Osiris week 2 of the playoffs. You're going to want to like and subscribe so that you get notifications for when we go live next week. Be there so when we cover the final week of the round robins for the playoffs and get into the real spicy stuff. If you enjoyed, please do again drop that like, and until next time, you have fun smashing the kingdom.